Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today I'm covering Real Housewives of New York Season 3. Now, Season 3 is one of the ones that's streaming on Hulu right now. Whoa, so the reason I picked Season 3 is because this is where things got crazy good for New York. We're going to be talking about Lou recording Money Won't Buy You class, Bethenny and Jason getting together and getting pregnant, Jill versus Bethenny, Kelly being Kelly, Ramona's catwalk, the Mario and Ramona renewing their vows, and Scary Island, and so much more. And I'm so excited to be talking about this because this is like the greatest season of Housewives. The reason this one is so special for me is because I'm putting this first episode up for everybody to see it and talk about it. And I wanted to announce that I did just start a Patreon. So if you haven't done this before and you're interested in checking it out, you go to patreon.com and you search for Real Housewives Recaps and my page will pop up. There's several tiers, but the lowest tier that will get you access to all these bonus episodes is $4 a month. So that translates to one bonus episode a week, $1 per episode. And I just would really appreciate it. It helps me out. It goes back toward the show. It helps me keep going. That would really help. So check it out if you're interested. If not, no sweat. It's all good. I'm going to keep making all my regular videos, so don't worry about it. I'll still be here on YouTube. This is just bonus content that I'll be posting there, and I'll be going over the rest of this season 3 of RHONY. Okay, so season 3. I am so excited to be getting into this one because this one is huge. First of all, this is when Bethenny was in her heyday and just so much stuff going on with Ramona and Lou, and oh, just wait till we get to Kelly. Holy cow. So let's get into it. So I've got your taglines for this season. The first one up is Alex. To a certain group of people in New York, status is everything, which perfectly sums up Alex and Simon. The next one is Luann. I never feel guilty about being privileged. What? What does that have to do with anything? Bethenny's is New York City is my playground. Jill's is I run with a fabulous circle of people. Ramona says I like making my own money. I find that an aphrodisiac. Kelly's is I've created a great life and I love living it. It's just so much fun to be getting back into this. This is when so many great things happened. Look how dated everything looks. It's so funny. Look at Ramona. She looks great, but she looks even better today. Same with Lou. So we start off with Jill and Lou walking toward the boat that Ramona has chartered for everybody, supposedly, or given to her by a friend. Oh my God, look at Ramona. This is when she cut her hair and she was talking about being renewed. She talks about that all season long. Look at her. She told everybody she looks like an older Cameron Diaz. She also said like 50 times, I gained 5 pounds. I gained 5 pounds. She says she does the anti-surgical procedures, which is so funny because the last season we just finished up, they accuse her of having a facelift and lying about it. So Jill says to camera, Ramona is way too frickin' old to be wearing a bikini. I don't care if she's renewed. Please, Ramona, go cover up. Ramona to camera says, I've been going through some changes, even with my friendship, so I decided to invite Alex on the yacht and give her a fresh start. I actually think this is the best Alex has looked without all the crazy clothes and makeup and stuff. She looks fantastic. And then we see Lou in this look. Oh my gosh. Remember when she'd wear these sunglasses and these headscarves? Fantastic. It's just so funny. They look so much better now than they did back then. So Alex walks on the boat and she immediately compliments Ramona's hair. Ramona says, I'm renewing myself. I cut it. I look like an older version of Cameron Diaz. And Jill makes the barfing motion, which really cracked me up. Lou says, I don't think Ramona looks anything like Cameron Diaz. So Ramona's sitting next to her girlfriend Joni. And I wonder if she was one of the 50 girlfriends that was invited to her birthday party. I remember her being around a lot back in the old days. So Ramona pulls out her collection of jewelry. She says, you can only buy this on HSN. Jill to camera says, all of a sudden she starts hawking her jewelry. I was a little put off. It was sort of like, look at me, look at my jewelry. Jill says that she would have a box out for everybody to take one, but not Ramona because Ramona's cheap. And what's funny is a light bulb goes off in Joni's head and she kind of says the same thing. She said, Ramona's cheap. She asked for her own check at dinner the night before, and so they're kind of going back and forth about Ramona. But then the ladies get together and they discuss Bethenny. They said it's been the summer of Bethenny. Jill and Bethenny had been having trouble. So if you remember last season, they were like thick as thieves. They were so tight. They did everything together. But now Jill and Bethenny are having trouble. She says she didn't want the drama. Haha. Lou asks Jill what's up with her, and Jill says, when you're my friend, you're all in. Bethenny was in my inner circle. She said she saved Bethenny's voicemail where Bethenny said, you need to find a hobby. And this kicks off like one of the biggest, greatest feuds in Housewives history. Then we go over to Bethenny, who is doing her PETA campaign. So she's super excited about that. And she starts talking about Jason. Talk about crazy full circle. So this is where they met. This is the season where they had met, and they're in love, and they're, getting together, and it gets really intense, as we know. So then we go back to Ramona saying, I'm having the best day. And Lou is saying, I say to people, Ramona is the most fun. She'll be the first one naked in your swimming pool. And damn, that's so funny, because think about what just happened with Leah, naked in Ramona's swimming pool, and she freaked out about it. And then Lou goes on to say, your husband said something to me the other day that really upset me. Ramona says, do we have to talk about it now? He likes you, but we'll talk about it later. Lou says, I have to get it off my chest. We're getting our picture taken. We were at the polo. And I think you remember there was a photographer calling me Countess, and Mario said under his breath, countless. And it really upset me. Why would he do that? And that's a pretty shitty thing to say, even if you feel that way. It's pretty mean that he said that to her. Ramona says, he told me the story. He recognized that he hurt you. And Lou says, well, then why didn't he call me? And Ramona says, he didn't have your number. Well, Jill and Lou freak out about that. So Lou says, you understand I don't feel comfortable coming to your house for Labor Day. And Ramona says, fine, then don't come. Lou to camera says, she invited me to her house for the weekend for a party. I felt like I needed to tell her why I wouldn't come. Ramona says, you're making a bigger mountain out of a whole mill. They correct her and say it's mountain out of a molehill. But I love that, mountain out of a whole mill. She never says anything right. We get to see this talking head look from Ramona. Look at the jewelry and the hair and the outfit. It's wild. Ramona does what Ramona always does, which is she walks away in the middle of an argument. She'll walk back, make a point, and then walk away again before anybody else can say anything to her. Meanwhile, Jill and Lou are left to talk about the train wreck that is Ramona, and Ramona goes and she basically does the original, I made it nice. I invited my friends on the boat. How could they treat me like this? Look at these facial expressions. Absolutely priceless. Meanwhile, Alex, Lou, and Jill are talking on the front of the boat about how crazy Ramona's being. Ramona's still lavishing the attention by her friends. She's taking drinks of her favorite Pinot Grigio, where Lou walks back and they act like nothing happened. They cheers, everything's fine again. I just love these shows. Meanwhile, we go over to Bethenny's apartment and look at the difference. Look at this apartment versus the apartment she had in later seasons. I love it. So we see her assistant Julie, and this brings back memories. I got really sucked into the Bethenny Ever After series, and Julie plays a pretty big part in that. We see Jason come over, and it's just the beginning of their relationship. So they're so excited to see each other. They're in love. He got her golf clubs to get her into the stuff that he's into. Now, I know he's a terrible person, and he sounds horrible based on the stuff we've heard behind the scenes. But right now, I'm going to pretend like everything's fine, and I'm super excited for them and all the stuff coming up. He's checking out her PETA shoot. He's super excited about it. He explains that she sent the photos to his work email, and that could get him in real trouble, which was funny. So they toast. Everything's great. Happy for them. Then we see Kelly Ben-Simone. Holy crap. You talking about a season for this girl. So she meets up with Jill and Lou for lunch here. I totally forgot. This is when Kelly's coming off the allegations that a boyfriend made that she beat him up, and he walked to the police station. Holy cow. So it's turned out that Jill and Bobby sold their Hamptons house. Bobby, aw, that stinks. I hate that. I hate that he passed away. Jill finally seems happy again. She's engaged. Good for her, but still sad. But Jill has explained that Bobby had thyroid cancer over the summer, and Bethenny sent flowers. But then she said, so did my mailman. So they just don't really have a relationship right now. So that we'll see that play out throughout the season. And then Kelly lightens the mood by regaling us with some of her weird sayings. Like, I don't want Mr. Right now, I want Mr. Right. Confusing the heck out of everybody. Meanwhile, we see Bethenny and Jason in the Hamptons. They're talking about how happy they are and they're in love. And then they start talking about Jill and how she's been acting weird. And Bethenny explains it was easy last summer because everything was about Jill and her family. They try to take over every situation. Jill likes to be the mother on Jill's terms. When I did the Today Show, they said that Jill had called up there saying, why wasn't it me? Whoa. Meanwhile, we see a very huffy Luann, and I love a huffy Luann. I love this scene. I remember this scene as being a great one from this season. This was when Bethenny was so likable and in her prime and just so much fun. I thought she really added to the series. So she meets up with Luann. It's revealed that she was trying to be nice to Luann, who's going through this divorce, right? And she offered to take her to dinner or something like that. Luann backed out. And while backing out, said, well, if you want to come meet me for a drink right next to her house, then she'd do it. So Bethenny's already annoyed that she had to drive an hour and a half to go meet Countess for drinks. And when she gets there, Countess is being Countess-like and starts saying, now, before we get into this, I just want to know, is this you treating me? And she's talking about the last season where Bethenny asked them to go surfing. They assumed Bethenny was going to pay. Bethenny's like the brokest one on the cast at that point. And Bethenny made jokes about it. This is where I loved Bethenny because she said to Luann, holy shit, are we still doing this? So Countess, and I'm calling her Countess because she is being very Countess-like in this season, is saying, I don't want you to say things behind my back anymore. And Bethenny says, don't worry, I will say them to your face. And Lou makes a crack about that hysterical car that Bethenny arrived in. And Bethenny says, if you can wear an Hermes belt, I can drive that car. Lou says, they're not paying me to wear the Hermes belt. And Bethenny, the camera says, exactly. Bethenny's saying, I didn't come here to be fake. Lou says, I'm not being fake. Bethenny apologizes for the surfing comment. Lou says, you said to me you're not really my friend. And Bethenny says, I want the real Luann back. So they kind of sort of make a truce and hug. And Bethenny says, ugh, I feel dirty after hugging her. And you can tell Lou's not happy either. So it's just kind of a fake truce. And boy, do we see it play out during the season. And that's how the episode ends. So good. Then we get a flash to the rest of the season. And boy, is it a season. Do you remember this moment where Ramona's holding on to Lou and saying, oh, you poor thing, when she's getting divorced? We see where it all kicks off with Lou's singing career, which leads her to be a cabaret star. Money can't buy you class. We see Jason and Bethenny fall in love and, shocking, take a pregnancy test. So we see Jill telling Bethenny, we are done. We're done. And Bethenny getting upset on the street. Iconic scene. We see fashion choices by Alex like this. Oh, I miss Alex. We see where Alex tells Jill she's in high school. We get the Ramona catwalk. Oh, those eyes. We get to see a renewal, a vow renewal, skin renewal, whatever Ramona's renewing. And that iconic walk on the bridge where Ramona tells Bethenny she's going to screw everything up. We get to see Lou and Bethenny completely duke it out at a fashion show, and we get to see Ramona's turtle time. We're introduced to Sonja Morgan. She joins the cast. And this is where Jill surprises everybody in Scary Island. Oh, Scary Island happens. That is like the best trip ever in cast history, I think. That and Morocco. So that is it for the episode. Oh my gosh, I love this season. I'm so excited to get into it. The Jill versus Bethenny of it all of it. I just can't wait. So again, this one I wanted to put out so you could see what I would be doing on Patreon. Please check it out if you're able to. If not, no sweat. Follow me here on YouTube. I'll continue to put out my other videos. And I just want to say thank you to everybody for your support, for your kind comments, for everything you guys do. I really appreciate it. And I'm so happy to be making these episodes. And I hope you enjoy them. You can comment below. You can leave me a comment on Twitter. I'm at Real Recaps. And I appreciate everything. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.